Welcome to Auto Velocity, your go-to destination for all things automotive. On this channel, we bring you the latest reviews, in-depth specifications, and detailed features of some of the most iconic vehicles on the market today. Whether you're a car enthusiast or just looking for information before making your next big purchase, we've got you covered. Now, let's dive into the world of the M103 Tank, a legendary machine that still captures the imagination of military and vehicle fans alike. The M103 Tank, also known as the M103 Heavy Tank, is one of the most iconic vehicles ever produced by the United States during the Cold War era. Originally introduced in the early 1950s, this heavy tank was designed to serve as a countermeasure against Soviet tanks, specifically the T-55, which was becoming more prominent on the battlefield. The M103 was part of a series of U.S. tanks meant to provide heavy firepower and superior armor in confrontational scenarios. The M103 is powered by a 810 horsepower gasoline engine, a robust powertrain that allows it to move at a top speed of around 30 miles per hour. While this might not seem incredibly fast by today's standards, it was impressive for a tank of its size and weight, which is close to 50 tons. Despite its weight, the M103's power-to-weight ratio gave it the ability to maneuver across difficult terrains while maintaining the speed necessary for battlefield operations. However, it was also considered slower than some of its contemporaries, with a much lower top speed compared to lighter, faster tanks. In terms of armor, the M103 boasted an impressive 10-inch thick frontal hull armor, offering excellent protection against enemy fire. This heavy armor made it difficult to penetrate by most tank and anti-tank weapons of the era, which was a major advantage during its service life. The tank's turret was similarly reinforced, with a thick turret armor that could withstand hits from large-caliber rounds, making it a formidable presence on the battlefield. The main weapon system of the M103 is its 105mm rifled gun, which was considered quite powerful at the time. The 105mm gun was capable of firing a variety of ammunition types, from high-explosive anti-tank rounds to armor-piercing shells, allowing the M103 to engage a wide range of targets, including infantry, enemy tanks, and fortifications. The fire control system was relatively simple compared to more modern tanks, but it still provided the crew with decent accuracy during engagements, which made the M103 a reliable weapon for its time. Inside the M103, the crew consisted of 4 members: the driver, the loader, the gunner, and the commander. While the crew compartment wasn't particularly spacious, it was efficiently laid out for combat operations. The driver sat at the front, with the loader and gunner operating the turret. The commander had the critical role of directing the tank during engagements, utilizing various communications and observation tools to keep the crew informed and ensure that the tank stayed on target during combat situations. Although the M103 was a strong and reliable tank for its time, it did have its limitations. Its heavy weight made it less nimble than lighter tanks, and the relatively small 105mm gun was eventually overshadowed by newer, more powerful tank guns in the 1970s. By the late 1960s, the M103 was phased out of active service with the U.S. Army, as newer tanks like the M60 Patton began to take over. However, the M103 remained in service with the U.S. Marine Corps until the early 1970s, and several nations used it for a period before it was retired from active duty. Today, the M103 remains a fascinating piece of military history. Its design, powerful armament, and heavy armor make it an unforgettable symbol of Cold War-era military technology. Even though it's no longer in service, the M103 tank still has a lasting legacy and is a popular subject of interest among military vehicle collectors, historians, and enthusiasts. If you enjoyed learning about the M103 tank and want to stay up to date with more in-depth vehicle reviews, specifications, and fascinating features, be sure to hit the subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on any of the great content we have lined up here at Auto Velocity. Thanks for watching.